Hi, it's Megan. I decided to try some of the Colourpop lipstick ultra matte liquid lipsticks, and I decided to get a couple of the new limited edition shades that were released recently. It's a 90s theme, and I've never tried this formula before, so I can't say that what I found from these is consistent with the formula for other people. Some of these didn't dry down completely for me, and from what I understand, that is an issue with the formula. It has been consistent, inconsistent, depending on shade. And so what I found, just with respect to the formula overall, I found that it applied satiny, a little bit kind of sheen to it, and then it dried down more matte. It did dry fairly quickly within 2-3 minutes, and I felt like compared to some other liquid lipsticks that the formula was oftentimes a little bit thinner, not super thin so it was runny, but actually in a good way. It didn't dry down, or it wasn't really hard to apply or patchy. I actually thought they applied really well. It was more in the dry down, because with a liquid lipstick, if it doesn't dry down completely, then you're getting color transfers on things like cups and whatever else. And I don't know, it's got kind of that tacky, weird feel to it. This is one of them. I don't know that these are super ultra matte like some other liquid lipsticks that I've seen, but they're definitely matte, just not that same kind of ultra matte. And they're $6 for 0.11 fluid ounce, so it's a great way to try crazy new colors. And I felt like they wore a good 3+ hours really well. I did get some wear away here. You know, and then by about 4, 5, 6 hours, they were starting on me to look a little not so flawless. But I tend to drink not from with a straw, just regular like water out of a glass, and so I tend to get less wear from stuff like this than a lot of other people. But they did wear really quite beautifully. I was impressed by that, honestly. I was actually impressed by them, I have to say. I hate the color that I'm wearing, but it's the one I put on first, so that's one we're gonna see. I hate it on me, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So this is Chilly Chilly, and it's described as a muted plummy brown, and it looks incredibly brown on me, dark brown, and I can see kind of rose plum-ish thing going on. It looks like, I don't know, a bruised plum, like a bruised dark plum with some brown on it. It just doesn't look good on me, but it's a nice color for the right person. It's just not looking good on me at all. And this one, it's a little sticky still, and I've been wearing this one for a while, so you can see I'm getting it on my fingers just by touching it, and so it really hasn't fully dried down. This one actually will look better on me with a different blush, but I'm gonna go through these, and I do these on camera. I'm gonna be a mess by the end, by the way, and I might stop the camera and clean up halfway through, because that way you can see how fully opaque they are and how they apply. And I thought that Chilly Chilly was very opaque. It definitely like muted out a lot of the color in my natural lip. So the next one is First Class, and this is described as a vivid orange red. These are kind of interesting colors. I'm not sure why I decided to start with these, but whatever, that's what happened. I just made a big mistake right when I was done. I hate when that happens. Well, we're gonna ignore my smear. This one seems a little bit less fully opaque to me. I feel like my natural lip color comes through. It just bugs me when it looks like that. I look like I was attacked by a, I don't know. I don't even know what color this is. If I were to describe, I don't know, coral. I feel like this one's a little bit patchier on, and I found that they're hard to kind of clean up later. So you do have more time to get it on right than with some other liquid lipsticks I've found, but when you try to go back in and clean it up, I find that they don't look quite as flawless. This is actually a pretty color. It's quite bright. And this is described as, like I said, a vivid orange red, and it's just neon orange red, bright, warm. It has that matte finish. It is, like I said, a little streaky on, it's not even, you probably can't see on camera, but it doesn't apply evenly. It is drying down already a lot more. You can get some transfer, but I feel like it's less than for the last one. It's just brighter. It's a pretty color. It's a pretty color. I think the formula is a little miss on this one, personally. Okay, the next one is Instigator, and this is described as a mid-tone peachy nude. And at the end of the video, no, at the end of applying this one, I'll swatch it on my wrist, which I forgot to do. Look at that. So pretty. So you can see they're not that easy to get off. Although the second one is worse than the first. What I'll do after the video is I will clean up with foundation on the entire lower half of my face. So after I apply this one, I'll do the swatches. So here it is, and this is what the wand looks like. So it's a nice small wand. Some people like bigger ones. I actually really like the nice smaller ones with that little tip at the end, just because I find it's so much easier to apply it correctly and in the right place. So if you watch my videos, you know I love colors like this. This is like, I just, wow, I'm so in love with this particular type of shade. So I absolutely just love this one. And so we'll go back. It is described as a mid-tone peachy nude, and it's like a muted medium peach with a little bit more of an orange undertone. It's definitely warm. It didn't fully dry down on me, so again, we're having the same problem with that. This actually reminds me of the Besame Mucho that just came out from the NARS Stephen Klein collection, except it's a little bit darker, a little bit richer, but it has that same, and I had a hard time describing Besame Mucho. I'm going to do the same thing here. But it's got like the right balance of peach, apricot, brown with just a touch of pink, so that I feel it's a much more wearable, flattering nude that doesn't wash people out. So let's just do the first one, Chilly Chilly. So here, swatches, since I didn't do that at the beginning. There's Chilly Chilly. Then we will do our next one, First Class, here. See how pretty, I just love this one. And it does look really quite matte. A little tiny, right there. And then, Instigator. And this one wears really well. Again, I think they wear really well, almost 3 hours. This one wore a little bit less. It's a lighter shade that normally happens. Maybe 2 hours, 45 minutes. About the same. They're pretty consistent. I did not find them super drying. I don't tend to have a dry lip problem, although my lips have been drier lately. I think the changing weather, it's been like 90, 80 degrees all the time. Maybe the constant hot weather. I've been actually having a dry lip problem more recently, but these didn't dry out my lips so much, maybe just a little bit after I was wearing, because I was wearing them every day for a couple days. By the end of the couple days, my lips were a little bit drier. What a lot of people say with liquid lipsticks, which I don't do, is you exfoliate your lips first, and then they tend to wear better and apply better if you put on lip pencil first in whatever shade or a nude shade beforehand. And that's just because there's a lot of precision in applying them, and I just kind of just go for it and usually get it right, and if I don't, then wow, it's a disaster. I found that cleaning up with my finger is always a disaster, and it's better to use something like a Kleenex or a Q-tip. You need something that's actually going to pick up, not just smear away the formula. Okay, last one, and then we'll be done. And so the one I just put on was almost fully opaque, not as opaque as the first one. Okay, this one is More Better. It looks so bright in the camera. It looks brighter in the camera than it does in my little mirror. This is a very pretty shade. The formula is a little bit not perfect. There it is right there. And so this is described as a deep violet wine. So you can see it's like a really deep, rich, dark berry, very deep, not fuchsia-ish, not red, but definitely in that deep pink, almost fuchsia depth. Definitely violet, berry violet, rich, I don't know, it looks like bleeding berries. It looks like, you know, raspberries and blackberries all mixed together into a juice. It's just it's a really pretty color. It's semi-opaque and it's a little bit dry, and I find this one faded a little unevenly. It applies, I'm looking at it now, it applies fairly evenly. It's mostly opaque, but I found the wear on this one was not ideal, and I'm actually going to touch it up. When I do this, you can see what happens when you touch it up after it's dried. There you go. Shades like this are tough. I mean, it's a tough shade just because darker shades tend to show their wear, and it's such a like bold, different from your regular lips kind of a look. And so I think the darkest shades and the nude shades are actually the hardest to get right, and the hardest on the wear time. Nudes don't tend to wear very long on me, and these deep, really rich ones, also I feel like I have to touch them up periodically just because any little bit of my lip showing through just kind of wrecks the way that they look. I think this is a really pretty color. So overall, am I happy with these? Yeah, you know, I think that I am. I really like two of the shades, this one and the peach. I actually like the orange one too. I just don't know that I'll wear it all the time. But I think, you know, this is a great way to try liquid lipsticks, and the fact that the formula is a little bit thinner and doesn't dry down super fast means that people that are just kind of getting into liquid lipsticks, haven't really done it before, can really experiment, play with different colors. It is a bold look because it just is so, that matte texture, that finish, it's a little unnatural looking, quite frankly, to put it bluntly. And either like it or you don't, but this is a great way to try it and play around. These particular colors, playing off the 90s, oh god, I think the 90s were probably the worst decade. No, they weren't the worst. The 80s weren't so great either, style-wise. So am I thrilled about the colors? You know, I like them, except for the first one, which was awful on me. Browns always are, most of them. But yeah, I do like these. These were fun. They're great. And I'm going to have another video where I'm going to do some taupe lips, 2 from Colourpop and 2 from Colored Rain, and how to make that look work. So that was kind of the rest of my package. And like I said, I skipped Bad Habit of the 5 Limited just because I had recently gotten Bites Barbary, and it's supposed to be a 95% plus dupe for it. So I figured I don't need another one of that color so soon after. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Please subscribe on YouTube. And I would love to hear comments, thoughts, suggestions on these matte liquid lipsticks from Colourpop, color suggestions, color thoughts, anything else. That's it. Thanks for watching.